Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kentucky Garden Gal. This is Nancy, and I thought I would do a new video series called Walkabout Wednesdays. I'll probably do this twice a month through the summer. That way you all can see how gardens change. And I just consider my garden a very average garden. I look at things, I can tell you what's wrong. I have unfortunately neglected my gardens the last couple of years because of health issues and then taking care of my father. But our gardens are very forgiving, and we can always take something back when you feel like, oh my goodness, the weeds just took over that bed. No, we can take it back and we can even make it better. So join me on these walkabouts as I'm going to walk through my entire garden. I'm going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, what I'm doing. And you can, if you stay with me, I'll try to do this around, like I said, twice a month through the summer on Wednesdays. And then you can see the changes and how a garden evolves. And as we go, I'll show you problems and how to fix them, because I've got plenty of problems in my garden. And the first one that you're looking at is this tree. This was a weeping cherry. And there's two bad things about it. Number one, I did not know how to properly trim it, so it did not stay a weeping cherry. When you have any tree or shrub that is weeping, any branch that starts shooting upwards, you need to trim that off to keep it more in a weeping manner. And number two, this tree is about 20 years old, and it's just fulfilled its lifetime. It's dying. It has damage. So next month in May, this is just almost at the end of April, we're going to start these tours. But next month, Colton is going to come and take this tree down, and I actually have something to plant in its place. So let's just start from here and sort of walk up. I had someone ask about planting a privacy fence, and this is a privacy fence that I planted. These are arborvitaes, and they have worked out pretty good. They're not at full maturity yet, but when you're planting a privacy fence, what you need to realize is that your spacing is important. So if I wanted complete privacy, and probably when these grow up, they'll be touching. But for right now, it just gave me, I've made this sort of a little area that you can just walk into. So it fit the purpose of what I needed. Now you will notice there is no mulch. Well, there was mulch, but there's hardly any mulch. That's because I haven't mulched in like 3 years, And mulch breaks down, the wind blows it away. So that's what happens to your mulch. But I'm gonna get on that. Like that, this is the year to mulch and compost properly. So we'll just sort of walk up here, and you'll see the Rose of Sharon's. These are starting to bloom out, to get their green leaves on them, and they'll just be full of color, and they will have color all summer long, and they are so easy to start. This is a lilac. This has already bloomed out, I think. I'll have to go back and check. But going around, this is an autumn clematis, and I started out, I got a piece of this from somebody, I cannot remember who, but anyways, this is just beautiful. It's beautiful greenery in the summertime, and then in the fall, it's beautiful and white. Now, it will take over, so put it somewhere that it's got space to grow, because like I said, it will take over. The next thing I wanted to show you over here is my butterfly bush. I cut this back, and you will see these are what we call scrub trees. These are trees that the birds drop the seeds in, and they grow up in our shrubs. So what you do with that, and I'll show you when we get back to the back, but I just take my nippers, I'm going to cut this off, and then I have a little thing of Roundup that looks like something that would be for deodorant, and then you just rub it right on that stem, and that takes care of it. But now here is the actual butterfly bush. This is white, and I was looking at this yesterday, and I see where I'm going to come in here and cut this, and I'm actually going to take a piece of this to the back, so I'll have one back there. These are daylilies. I will go ahead and tell you all of my daylilies need to be thinned, so that's something I'm going to be working on. This is the Savannah Holly, and the Nandinas, they are starting to come back right here. That is a good sign, y'all, right there, because the Nandinas just took a hard hit during that really bad freeze we had right around Christmas. So over here, it looks like the irises are blooming, purple and white. They are so pretty. And I have been looking, I want David Austin roses, but I want David Austin roses going up around this trellis. So I'm looking for 3 right here. So coming back around here, things are starting to bloom out. This is an oak leaf hydrangea, and I have been thinning this thing out. It just absolutely gets huge, and I have been giving pieces of this to just everybody, and I put 2 in my back, and I'll show those to you. So coming on around, you can see that all of this is starting to green up. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I said, you know, I have got to plant more plants, because the tighter in your plants are packed, the less weeds that you have. And this is actually a good example right here. This hasn't been mulched in probably 3 years, but it's packed in so tightly, you just don't see a lot of weeds in there. Let's see, we'll run up on the front porch. Nothing's going on up here. I have not planted anything. This is just, we just come out here and sit and enjoy, but I don't have a thing planted. Turn you around, try not to turn you around too fast. There at the end, I am looking for, I want David Austin roses. I was talking to a friend about those last night, and you know, my heart is set on David Austin climbing roses, and that's what I'm gonna have. But I need to get up there and trim those boxwoods, and I have been waiting because I want to take cuttings off those. And then right there, those 2 little pitiful trees are crepe myrtles, and they're coming back out. So zoom back in and continue on our walk. So this is an area that I have not been in, and you can absolutely tell I have not been in this area. And also, I wanted to show you something. I have got a problem. This was a water fountain, and then I turned it into something to put flowers in. See that piece out right there? See where that's broken? What I'm going to do is I'm going to push this soil around, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to lay some cloth in there, and I've got some concrete. I'm going to pour a little layer of concrete on it, and I'm going to fix that so I can use it again, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'll have to show you that when I get done. Just lots of weeds and hostas in here. Now, the Firepower Nandinas, they still, well, let me see. You know what? I think, lo and behold, right down there, that plant is coming back. So glory, glory, hallelujah. I think they're going to come back. I just would not take them out. Now, you see the gazebo. I need to wash it, so I'm going to come out with just some mild soap and water, a little brush, and I'm going to wash that. And then, of course, this all needs mulch, but got plenty of lilies and irises. This is an area right here that I'm going to work on this year. I had 2 azaleas that just aged out. They got old and they died. So I'm getting ready. I've been scouting around in my yard to see what I'm going to bring in here, but I'm going to bring something in here and fill it up and make it pretty. I don't know what it's going to be yet though. So I was going to show you, this is my magnolia tree, and I picked up a bag of Epsom salt, and the next time I know it's going to rain good, I'm going to come out. If you come to the outer edge of your tree down and then, okay, so there's the end of the tree. You're going to come down and then go to the trunk. That is your drip line. So I am going to come in this area right in here. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bag of Epsom salt, and the magnolias just love that. So not much happening here. The knockout roses are coming back. That's all good. I have not potted up back here. I've got the plants, but you know, I'm still watching those temperatures at night and being cautious. So here's a little area that I redid. This is the little miniature hostas. I had one big clump, and first of all, this tree was given to me, and it's looking sad. So I decided to make it into a topiary, and I clipped all of the dead branches off, and I'm gonna come in. I've got to go get some fertilizer for it, specifically for this tree. But if you look right here, see that green? That's a good sign right there. That's a good sign. It just needs to look like this all over. But I came in and I divided up these little miniature hostas. There was one clump, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 8. And then I planted some astilbes back in here, different colors, pink and red. There is the lily of the valley. There is an oak leaf hydrangea that I brought back here. I transferred. It's doing well. The hostas are coming up. I have started a few little baskets. I bought this. I had it sitting by the back door. I still haven't gotten in baskets, and I want you to look if a squirrel isn't eating that. And there is the Solomon seal that I transplanted earlier this month. So this little area is filling up back in here. Lots of newly planted things. Got those baskets going on. Let's see. There's our little wheelbarrow, and I added some plants, but I think I waited too long to get them out of the pots. Lesson learned. Here's another tree that's got to come down this year. This little tree just tries its best to live. It just blooms out every spring. It keeps putting out new branches, but it's just really come to the point where it is unsafe. So walking along, you'll see the daffodils that I planted in an earlier video, and these are going to die down. The same thing with the hyacinths over here. Just let them die down. Don't cut off the foliage. Just let them completely die down, and then next spring we'll have a beautiful show right along here. Lots of spring interest in this little garden. These are some daffodils that are still blooming, and these are snapdragons that I planted, and believe it or not, they have actually enjoyed the cooler weather that we've been having, so those were good there. As we walk into the back garden, these are starting to come alive. You see the excuse me, you see the crepe myrtles there. You see this little nandina. There are just too many lilies in this bed, so these will be thinned out. I tried to transplant some azaleas. There were 3 and only 1 lived, and I really hated that. Now, this looks terrible back here, y'all. If you saw it now, you'd be like, what in the world? She's got a garden channel? But I'm redoing it. I just decided that I wanted a different look, a different need, and so I am completely redoing everything. The first thing that I did was take out yuccas. I had cut them all the way back, and these were huge in the garden back here. I had a lot of yuccas and I had a lot of the tall grasses, and I just decided I wanted something different. And that's kind of what happens as you evolve in your garden. You know, you want different things, and that's okay. So at one point this was a secret garden, and you walked in through here, and then you had that little garden over there that I really dedicated to butterflies. So now I'm taking all of this out. There's a grass I'm taking out this little patch right here, so I'll have more of a grass area. And let me show you, this is Russian sage, and it is time to cut it back. See the new growth right in there? This is a woody plant, so I need to get out here the next couple of days and cut this Russian sage back. And like I said, it's not pretty, it's a work in progress, but I'll show you what I've done. So these are little dogwoods that I've planted, and you'll see I've got this water jug sitting by it. The first year that you plant a tree, you need to keep it well watered because it's developing its root system. So you want the roots to go down deep, and the way I do this, I keep a gallon jug. I fill these up twice a day, so they're getting about 2 gallons of water a day. But we had some fence issues. We've replaced some fence pieces. It has to be painted. I planted some trees, but what I want to do with this area back here is turn it into a herbaceous border. And I'll put up some pictures so that you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's something that I just really love that I decided I wanted to do with this area. So it's the same way over here. I've just been transplanting, planting things. Now this little area right here that I know it looks like it's a burn pit because I did burn something in it, but it was an old koi pond where the liner went bad, and I could not manually do the filters anymore. It was just too hard for me. And so I'm going to turn this into a garden, but as you can tell, it looks rough right now. But I promise y'all, by the end of the summer, you are not going to recognize this. And I was going to show you, you can put little vignettes tucked around in your garden. So that's what's going on back here. This is the fig. It hasn't started to leaf out yet, but it will get there. This is an archway that goes into the chicken coop in the more vegetable area, and I just planted winter jasmine right there, so I'm hoping that's going to come up and come around there. Let's see. Back here, I've got my apple tree that my friend Vicki, hi Vicki, she grafted it in her Master Gardener class, and then I've got some pawpaws back there, 3 pawpaw trees. And then if you come around, this is just, somebody asked me the other day, they said, what in the world is that? And I said, you know, it's my children's play set, and I just can't get rid of it. I just can't. I don't know what's wrong with me, but anyways, I did put some pansies in there to try to make it pretty. And then these are the little tubs that I've got my raised beds in. That's going to be a Peter Rabbit garden, and it's coming along nicely. Back there is some fennel and sage. There is some sweet peas in here, but I don't know if they're going to do any good, and so I'll start putting other things in. Of course, there's the chicken coop with the girls. This will be my cutting garden, so you can see that I've started to dig it up some, but I will directly sow my zinnias in here, and I will be able to come out, and this will be my cutting garden for the zinnias. So that's kind of what is back here. This is my little potager garden, and potager is French for anything that will go in the pot. So I just have flowers, herbs, and vegetables back here. The clematis is looking especially pretty. And here's the lavender. Now this needs to be cut back. So that's something that I've got to get on in the next couple of days. And the little greenhouse. Oop, I just saw a lizard run by. The little greenhouse is coming along. Things are starting to pop. I was a little late getting these out, and that's okay. We've still got plenty of time. So that's looking good. And then over here is a little propagation station that I've started. Some things are doing better than others. But as I've said many times, this is a trial and error garden. I learn by trial and error. And so what I have to do is just try things. And another friend of mine said this, and it really resonated with me. He said, if you don't grow it, you don't know it. And that suits me to a T, because I just have to grow something. And then I know all about that plant. But I wanted to show you. There's the kiwi, and along here are the hollyhocks. Some of these have come back from last year, and I'm starting more, and then you can see the winter gardening. But look at how that limb fell off that tree. Isn't that crazy? I was so shocked when I came out and saw that that was gone. And then this is the other side. This is more propagations down here. So let's go over this way. As you can see, I haven't uncovered my pool yet, but I wanted to show you the peonies. Isn't this going to be a gorgeous bush this year? That is some type of hydrangea, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. But look at the peonies. Aren't they just going to be beautiful? We're going to have tons of blooms. So, going around here, a little update on these raised beds. There is no update. I haven't gone and gotten the soil yet. It's still, I'll come back, I've cleaned it up a little bit more, but you know, there's always a fall garden, so maybe that's gonna be what I do. So we'll come back this way, and not much to show over here. These sky pencil hollies, they are coming back, thank goodness. And there's a little compost pile that I've started. So you can just tuck those in wherever you want. And we will finish this video up. I'll show you. These are the trees that I got from the conservation office. And April the 15th is pretty much the deadline of when you want to plant trees. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pot these up and save them for the fall. But I've had them in water. They've leafed out. They're going to be just fine. And I've got enough pots for them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just put them in a good shady area and keep them watered. And this fall, like late October, early November, we'll go to the farm and we'll just pot away. And you can see I've got my little pots laid out. I'm getting ready to plant up some seeds today. And I've got these two little rose bushes that I'm going to put up back here, but I have to do a repair on a fence first. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you're learning and growing with me. Oh, by the way, there's the Roundup that I was telling you about. When you have like a little tree that's popped up in your flower garden, just cut it off and then rub this really good on the stem. And you may have to do it once or twice, but it will eventually take care of it, and then you know you're not spreading that anywhere else in your garden. But I hope you all have enjoyed this video. There's Lily of the Valley that I potted up for Brenda. Hi, Brenda. She watches too. But anyways, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. I hope that that you're learning and growing in gardening like me, and you're having fun, and you're getting out there, and you're getting dirt in on your hands, and you're getting your knees in the soil, and you're just connecting with nature. And I appreciate all of y'all so much, and I will see you tomorrow with Thrifting Thursday.